Hello everybody. Today we are doing another support guide. Today we are doing Twitch Ymir because I thought it was both hilarious and true. So let's get right on into this Twitch Ymir. Looking at our build here, of course we have our typical starts here on support. Watcher's Gift, your hog, your potions, no big deal. I actually like to go 5 health potions and then 2 mana pots on Ymir if possible. You only need 1 ward, will be on the order side. I know a lot of my videos aren't on the order side and a lot of you guys wanted to see that, so I made sure to get a video from the order side. Typically I buy 1 ward and that is just to put at the mid harpy, so it leaves you to get 5 potions and 2, or you can do 4 and 3, but I like the 5 health potion start on Ymir because he's not mana dependent really at all. Working your way, of course, into Midas boots, definitely important on Ymir. One of the sports that tends to fall behind just because of the nature of his movement. He can't really run around the map like, Geb and Athena, these other characters that have movement abilities to help them get around to the experience and the gold. So you want to make sure you get your Midas boots on Ymir. Your core items, of course, being Sovereignty and Magi's Blessing. Ymir has no guaranteed way to take or secure objectives like some of the other supports do. Pretty good at stealing objectives because of the freeze is a very long CC, but no way to really secure them. Winged Blade, honestly, is a core item on Ymir. Because you have no movement abilities, you need to be able to have that extra run speed when you become slowed. Also makes it so you don't get slowed that first time, and it's really going to be helpful. That combined with the Magi's Blessing will take a lot of CC off of you completely, so you can go around and be a big ol' Ymir. If you want to build some damage items on Ymir, Voidstone's actually not a bad way to go. You get the area pen for your group, you get magic protection, you just get a little bit of power. Not bad overall. Same kind of concept with Breastplate of Valor is you're not really getting that much damage, but you're getting a lot of utility out of it. 25% cooldowns means you're throwing out a lot more stuns, a lot more walls, you're putting a lot more disruption into the team fight. The latter two, Obsidian Shard, being that Ymir has extremely high base damage, so if you get more of that base damage off, that's amazing. Ethereal Staff, actually pretty viable even in the support role, just because it gives you so many hit points, and you're already going to have so many hit points from your build, it'll actually give you quite a bit of magical power towards the end of the game. Not bad to think about towards the end of your builds in these games with Ymirs. And then of course defensive being situational, Witchblade, Spirit Robe, etc. Your actors on Ymir, you're looking at Wrath of the Gods and Blink. If you absolutely have to, you can get Weakening Curse for the heals, but I recommend getting Blink. Your Blink into Freeze combo is ridiculously hard, even if you know that it's coming to get away from, just because of how big the cone is on the Freeze and the nature of most people's getaway skills. The person who has the best chance of getting away is Rama, but as we'll see in this video, not even Rama can get away from that. Of course, consumables, put down your potions, your wards, so you have an easier time to get to them. Looking at Ymir's abilities, pretty cool passive, really aggressive passive actually, not very supporty at all, more like a jungler passive, but that's alright. Once you hit a person with your skills, it's going to put a frostbite on them, so your Glacial Strike, your Frost Breath, and every time you auto attack them after that, you're going to do 100% more damage on your basic attacks. This makes Ymir's early game incredible, doing 100% more damage to people after you land your skills on them. Towards the end of the game, it drops off unless you're building damage Ymir. But towards the beginning of the game, instead of doing 45 damage in auto attack, doing 90, that is a huge, huge difference, and you can put a lot of pressure early in the lanes. The skill typically you're going to get first on Ymir is Glacial Strike. Pretty low cooldown for how much damage it does. 8-second cooldown. It's a slow for a long ass time. 4 seconds for 35% slow. Also goes up and does a lot of damage, up to 370. Tons of scaling on it as well. The one thing about this skill though is you do not want to get it all the way to 5. Typically by the time you want to get the skill to about 4 points in, that's because once you get 5 in, you're going to start clearing the way with your skill, and you don't want to full clear the way. If you want to get it low so your ADC can get their Devo stacks, so about 4 points in this skill will be good, and then you're going to start putting points and maxing out Frost Breath. Frost Breath is typically the skill you get second. This is your stun, which is honestly probably the longest stun in the game, I think. Hard stun. 2.25 seconds. Also does a decent bit of damage in itself. That combined with your slow is giving you a ton of crowd control. I like to rank this skill up to max right after Glacial Strike, but of course not getting your last point in Glacial Strike. So I guess it's actually the first skill you get to max. Ice Wall you typically get at level 3 or 4 situationally, depending if you get an extra point in the Glacial Strike for clear, or if you're looking for a kill, you're going to get your wall. Ice Wall puts up a giant wall of ice, and it blocks people from going through. This makes Ymir really good against people that don't have jumps, so not necessarily Neith or Anhur, but characters like Rama, Apollo, Artemis, those kind of characters that cannot get through your wall. Ymir's ultimate, the most aggressive support ultimate in the game. Big area around you, slows people when they're in it, does a ton of magical damage, gets a ton of magical scaling, really lets you get off a lot of early game kills with this skill. If you can get a little bit ahead, you can get a ton of kills with this, especially if you freeze somebody and then you wall right behind them so they have nowhere to go. It's going to be money. I'm telling you, it's going to be money. All right, so what are the good matchups for Ymir, some bad matchups, etc.? Well, a good matchup for you is going to be Athena, Ares for going against support. Why is that? Neither of those characters can get out through your ice wall. So when you wall them off, if Athena uses her dash, she's going to walk right into the wall. Ares has no getaway skill, so if you stun him or slow him, he can't do anything. He has to sit there. Even if he chains you, if you stun him after the chains, typically it's going to be enough time to where he can't chains again. A really hard matchup for Ares. A bad matchup for Ymir, Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong has good clear. He has good getaways. He has multiple getaways. He can bird form around your wall. He can ulti over your wall. He can put pressure on you and then get out. Not a fun matchup for Ymir. I don't like Geb, not necessarily because of the early game. Ymir early game typically beats Geb, but towards the later end of the game when you're using your Frostbeth in these initiations, Geb's using his shield to take off your stun, taking away from your initiation. Not the best endgame matchup for Ymir, and that's why I don't typically like it. For ADCs with you, what you're looking for is a really aggressive ADC. So you're looking for Woojer for the stun on the axe and the damage. You're looking for Anhur to stun them into your wall. And you're looking for Cupid kind of to heart bomb them, put down the ultimate, cripple them kind of thing. You're looking for those very aggressive, high damage ADCs. I wouldn't want to have with me with Ymir in Apollo. It's kind of in a waste. It's like, why have Ymir if you're going to have Apollo? You already have a passive lane anyway. You're already looking to ult to different lanes and do stuff away. So don't worry about that. Rama, same kind of thing. You have good lane clear. Ymir already has the lane clear, so you don't need great lane clear. You're just losing out on that aggressive kill potential in the lane. All right, let's go ahead and head into this game. Started off this game by putting one ward out by the mid Harpy. Didn't get any of my skills ranked up just in case I needed to try to get away. Maybe I needed to throw down a wall. But now I can go ahead and get my 2, which will do the most damage. Also the shortest cooldown on this blue buff. Quick little note right here that my ADC just did very well. As the ADC, it is your job to pull the buff first. 1, you're going to have Death Toll, plus probably your Tier 1 Devo Glove, so you're going to regen it up. 2, it's just way more efficient in terms of taking damage. It has to walk to you before you take damage. Chances are I'm going to have to be a lot closer to it. Chances are I'm a melee character. So you should go ahead and pull the buff. And you can even take it for a little bit for your support. I get a really lucky freeze here on Zapman right in the middle of his dash, which is going to allow us to get off a lot of early game damage on this lane on both of their characters. Here's a decent bit of mana, but that's alright. I want to go take their red buff, but I see the Thor is already in the mid lane, which I feel like is kind of weird. I'm like, that's strange. Why is he already there? But whatever. I guess they're just going to go do whatever they need to do, so it stops us from taking the red buff. We have really good clear. I see the Athena coming up to do this. I walk into her skill because I know that means our NPCs are going to go onto her. Sometimes it is smart to bait yourself in order to get the skills to go off. Zapman's playing very aggressive, which means something's horribly wrong. The Thor is already over in our lane at 1 minute 20 seconds. I'm just trying to run around and cat around so our Apollo can get away. And I'm going to get picked off here as first blood due to a very, very, very early Thor gank in my lane. Smart gank by him. Very atypical. Was ill prepared for that. And they get the kill. This is going to put me quite a bit behind, but that's alright. You guys wanted this to happen anyway. Look at this. This is what you guys wanted. This is all I get asked. Do a video from behind. You know how sad I am right now? Very sad. Look how far I am behind. That's right. I know the Thor is looking at my jungler speed buff, so it's my job to run over there and try to make sure that it is safe. I scare away the Thor, and now I can get back into this lane and try to get some XP. Athena and Rama are both level 4. That's alright. I just need to kind of chill back and wait. I don't know if this Athena's going to go in on Apollo, so I'm trying to prepare my freeze just in case she does. using my 2 on the wave so we can try to grab some of the gold before it hits the tower. Chuck comes over for a gank, so I'm going to press up and use my health pot. The Athena's dash is down, so I'm going to go for her instead of the Rama, getting a lot of damage on her, a lot of slows. I'm hitting really hard right now because of Ymir's passive, and we are going to get to pick her off right there. I tried a wall to save my teammate, but unfortunately it does not work. And now there is 4 people in our lane. The Athena's dead, so now it's 3 people, and we're getting ganked pretty hard, using my freeze to get some of this damage off the Apollo. I make a crucial mistake right here. I did not realize that Thor was not level 5 yet. I had just assumed that he had ultied in and not come in through the Janus. So I'm going to press up here. Once again, Zatman's playing very aggressive. I'm like, that's weird. So I'm just going to go for him. And the Thor is going to double dunk us in the back. And I'm going to get killed. So I'm just going to try to throw off some damage to help my Apollo get away. And I'm going to die again twice now in the first 3 minutes of the game. But I ain't going to die again unless I do. I don't remember. Well, hopefully not, because that's embarrassing. Alright, at this point, we're down 2 kills and first blood, but we're only down about 600 gold. That's really not that bad. That's almost just the first blood in itself, which means the other lanes are farming pretty well. So we're just going back here. I couldn't rotate to the mid Harpies. You know, being dead makes it hard to rotate. But that's alright. So, what am I going to do now that I am behind in this lane? Well, for one, I can't really leave my Apollo. My Apollo is behind with me. If I leave him, the Athena Rama are pretty much just going to kill him. Okay? So I need to kind of stay in the lane with him. 2, I need to make sure I have good ward coverage. We can't really afford to get ganked anymore. We are pretty far behind. 3, I can't really rotate. I'm going to look to maximize my XP by getting all of these waves in the ADC lane, maybe looking to get some jungle camps. But for the most part, I need to try to stay in this lane. I am a Ymir, which is beneficial in terms of staying in the lane because I have a lot of presence in the lane with my damage output. So we can try to get a lot of extra plays off there. So that is one positive that's coming out of this. Making sure my Apollo gets his blue buff. You know, once Zatman's ahead, he definitely likes to go aggressive and take people blue buff. So I need to make sure my Apollo gets it. Of course, looking at the stat screen to make sure no crazy actives are coming out, I need to know what people have at all times. At this point, my 2 has kind of hit a power spike. It's doing about 230 damage, which is a lot. I'm kind of hoping they go in on my ADC here, and they do. Just looking to get some damage off. The Apollo dashes away, so he can't really come back up right now. He'll be out of position if the Athena taunts him and Zap goes in on him without his dash up. So, no big deal. We're just kind of playing passive. If they would be playing more aggressive, we might be in more trouble. Getting my freeze off on them, just to make sure the Apollo doesn't take too much harass. Zatman's playing up pretty aggressively, but I need to make sure I don't take too much damage. There are Archer minions still there, and it's still early enough in the game where the Archer minions are going to do a lot of damage to him. Getting pretty close to getting my Midas boots, so I'm trying to keep that in mind. I want to get those as soon as possible. For just a moment, I think the Chalk's coming over to gank the lane, but he has to go back and hold the middle lane. So I'm kind of baiting this right here to see if they come in on me, but at the same time, they don't, and that's fine for me because I can back and get my Midas boots. No harm, no foul. It would have worked either way. If they went in, they could have freeze and gone in to fight, but they didn't, so I can back and get my Midas boots. Not bad at all. The Athena isn't really rotating around, pressing her advantage. She's not really ganking mid lane that much. She's not coming in on our jungle buffs, which is good for me to allowing me to just sit in the lane and not fall behind any more than I am right now. If I would have had Blink by this point, I probably could have killed Zap here, but I don't, and so I won't be able to go in and kill him right there. But I'm going to try to do a little loop-de-loo. The Apollo is backing, and I know that Zap wants one more wave, trying to maximize his gold output, and he does not have any wards from his Athena, so I'm going to be able to come right over here, land my skills on him. He can dash away, but he won't be able to do anything more, and I'm going to pop a little ultimate. Did I need to use my ultimate there? No, I did not, but I did not know if anybody was coming, if there was an Athena ult, Thor ult. Better to just secure the kill than the chance that Athena comes in and taunts me and he gets away and then his dash comes back up, stuff like that. Just play it safe. If you have to use your ultimate secure kill, use it. People will call you tryhard. That's alright. You got the kill. Who's laughing now? Definitive fight breaking out here in the mid lane. Trying to get onto this Thor. Unfortunately, I can't wall. I'm trying to wall It almost goes off and then it doesn't. The Thor can't decide where to go. I'm trying to bait out his beads. I do bait out his beads. Note to self, when baiting out somebody's beads, after you do it, you should land any of your skills. Just a real quick thing, like I know I missed all my skills right there, and you guys would think, oh, he missed the skills. I should miss my skills too. Don't miss your skills. It's usually beneficial to hit them, you know, do damage, stuff like that. But, you know, I just wanted to show you guys what, you know, somebody might do in that situation. Somebody might panic and miss their skills. So that's just, you know, that's a real world situation, 101. Right here, I back up and I start to buy tier 1 sovereignty. I then realize I don't have tier 3 hug, so I sell it and I get my tier 3 hug and grab wards. That might happen to you guys at some point. If you realize that you bought the wrong thing, that's alright. Just quickly sell it and buy the stuff you needed to get and then get back out to your waves. I probably should have bought tier 1 blink there as well. I was trying to get back out into this lane because I saw Zapman going in on my Apollo and I wanted to get there as fast as possible. If I would have had blink here, I probably could have continued the aggression onto Zap. Even though I block him with the wall, I won't be able to get to him. My team's trying to get to him, but they have 4 people over in my lane again because welcome to the ADC lane, boys. That's alright. I'm just going to throw back out some more wards. I have actually caught up in XP with this Athena, partially because of my kills. Partially because Athena's just not quite playing it right. She wasn't pushing her advantage enough, wasn't taking our jungle buffs, wasn't maximizing her XP by doing back harpies and stuff like that. Even though they're getting these mid harpies over me, I'm still doing just fine in XP. Also, some of that is because my Apollo has been down this early game. He's been having a hard time, and so I'm getting a lot of XP where he's not, so the levels are kind of swapped on support ADC for the 2 teams. I want to get over to help my team, but I know that I'm not going to be able to do anything. They're already too deep, so I clear this wave to make sure we get the XP. I call for a Gold Fury. I have a Sentry Ward, so I can throw that down. They still have their Athena up, but they do not have a Tier 3 Hog, which means this is going to be a guaranteed Gold Fury if I can stay alive. So I cannot tank this any longer. I hear the Thor going up into the air. So I need to ultimate right now because he's going to land on me. I get as much damage off as I can. I've got 1 hit point left and I'm trying to get away. And they're going to, my own team will reset the Gold Fury onto me so the Gold Fury kills me. Luckily, the Athena will get zoned out by our Chuck and we will still get the Gold Fury. Overall, huge win for our team. Traded me for a Gold Fury and a Thor. Very good job for my team, even though they killed me. You know, hindsight 2020. I could have gotten tier 2 Iron Mail going into my sovereignty right here, but it's more beneficial for me to get some blink out as well as some wards instead of just a tier 2 sov. The extra protections right now probably won't be a life or death situation for me, but that blink might let us get some more kills, could lead into a tower, could lead into an objective later on, stuff like that. Once again, Athena will be going and getting these mid harpies. While I haven't been able to get a mid-harpy all game, I'm keeping up in my farm by making sure I always am getting the lane XP. I have my blink up, so I'm going to put some pressure onto Zap. Go ahead and make it so he has to run in a weird way. So he has to dash out towards the tunnel, make it weird on him. Just putting some pressure on, even though we don't get anything from it. It's always good to keep the pressure on your lane if you can, just to keep it in the back of their mind of, oh, I could get ganked, I could get ganked, I could get ganked. Even if nothing happens, people underestimate how scared people get, and that's a really big factor. I wall and freeze Zapman again. I get his dash in the freeze, so I'm putting some damage on here. I pop the ultimate early because I know Zapman has Aegis, and I want to be able to get the damage off. Zapman's dash comes up again, but my Apollo is going to do a lot of work on Zap. I get the wall off so he can't get away. Then, of course, we're looking to collapse on this Athena. Chuck gets a really good ultimate off, blocking the 1 in the process, and we get a double kill over in this lane. This is huge for the Apollo to catch back up. He is now even with the Zapman in XP, which is going to be huge. Also, because he's Apollo, now he can freely roam around and have more pressure on the map since he's caught up with levels with his ultimate. He can do a lot of damage with that now. As a team, we're about 2.5k ahead. Thor's coming in on me. I know he's just going to spin the second he comes through with his hammer. No big deal. I just set up for it, and I can immediately freeze him so he only gets like a single damage tick off from his spin to win. Meanwhile, my team was pushing the mid lane, so we get the tier 1 tower down. I sell a singular ward. That way I can get the tier 2 steel mail. beneficial in that case. You know, one ward. We already have a ton of wards out on the left lane. Might as well sell a single ward so I can get a full item, the extra health, extra physical protections. Just maximizing my XP here by doing a little bit of back harpies. I am now 2 levels above this Athena, who was originally 2 levels ahead of me. So this is all the way caught up, and that happened all in about 10 minutes. About 10 minutes it took to catch up and actually get ahead. Throwing out another ward here, the Gold Fury, because they have a Thor. When they have a Thor, you need to make sure you keep wards on the Gold Fury area for your support, because that is typically where the Thors are going to ult from to get to the lane. It will give them the widest view of the lane and areas to land with their ultimate. Janus over here, I'm going to blink in on him, get some pressure on him. I can do a lot of damage because I'm Ymir. He only has one way to go now, and Poseidon is sitting there waiting. Really smart play from Poseidon to not come to me and attack the Janus. Knowing and trusting me that I will land my skills and panic the Janus out towards the mid lane, he waited there and secured the kill. Really smart play. At this point, now that we're ahead of them, we're going to do the right thing and we're going to put a lot of pressure on their jungle camps. This is what they should have been doing earlier with their early game advantage, but they didn't. I am pretty tanky at this point, so I'm going to go put some pressure on Zapman, not using any of my skills because I knew he was just going to ulti. Putting the wall behind him, so if he tries to dash out, he'll dash right into the wall. Sure enough, I can land my freeze onto Zap and we get a nice, easy kill. Bakasura and the Athena just chilling here in this lane. We got to be kind of careful. The Janus ult comes through, so we know Janus will be coming this way. I want to try to get my team out as fast as I can. I should be okay to get out, but I'm going to make sure that they don't do anything crazy on my team. The Apollo playing farther up than I would like him to be. He's just not backing up fast enough. The Athena's going to get this taunt on him. I tried to wall off the Bakasura. Bakasura makes a smart jump and a really smart ultimate, becoming CC immune from my 3, and they're going to pick up that kill on Apollo. Apollo should have just backed harder. Misplay there by the Apollo. Chop getting picked up in the back as well by a Janus Thor combo, and I have to use my blink in order to get out. I don't have to let this tier 1 tower go. My Vamana is rotating over. I know I'm going to be safe over here, so I can start to clear out this wave. That way they don't get any more gold than they need to. I don't want to use my freeze if I don't have to on the wave, just in case a fight were to again break out. I want my freeze up as a relatively long cooldown. But nothing happens, no big deal. I can back and get my sovereignty. Bada bing, bada boom. I can grab a sentry ward for the Gold Fury since that is now backed up, as well as a regular ward. Gold differential at this point is about 2.5. Kills are relatively even. Apollo makes a really good play on the right lane, snatching up the Thor. Going to go ahead and pick up that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, their team is going to go for this Gold Fury, and I don't know how it happens, but Vamana picks up the Gold Fury, presumably with his throwing disc. And I don't know how that happened, but that is huge. They did not have their tier 3 hog at this point. I'm not sure why they didn't have their tier 3 hog, but they didn't. And it seems that the hog was misclicked at just the wrong time towards the end of the Gold Fury's health, and they will not pick up the kill. I see Janus thinking he's out of position, walling him off. Me and Chalk get a lot of damage onto him. Unfortunately, what we do not know is that the police are coming. A great Aegis by the Janus to live right there. Athena ultimate comes in hot. Thor ultimate comes in hot. Bakasura ultimate comes in hot. And all of their ults ever are down. Meanwhile, our Vamana is just going ahead and just pounding on that right lane. Honestly, not that bad right now. Both of us died. They're not going to be able to go do the Fire Giant, though. Vamana doing a good job of putting pressure on another lane while we were getting destroyed in the mid lane. Working towards my Magi's Blessing at this point. It's getting towards the part of the game where people will think about doing Fire Giant. Sure enough, here they are doing Fire Giant. Poseidon gets a really nice ult off, as well as Vamana doing a really good ult. They do get the Fire Giant, but our team has some very nice pickups on some pretty key targets, including Zapman himself, only leaving the Fire Giant buff on the Thor and the Janus. But this also leaves us free to grab the tier 2 tower on right. Nothing they can do. Apollo gets a free grab on that tower, he can just pop his meds to get physical protections and then tank it no problem. Even though they have the Fire Giant, we are about 6,000 gold, almost 7,000 gold ahead on them still. So we don't have to be super scared right now. We can still put pressure around the map as long as we play it smart. But will we play it smart? Maybe not. Jan is out of position. Unfortunately, I missed my freeze. A misplay on my part. I should have used my wall first to guarantee the freeze. I did not. But that should be fine. We're trying to disengage here. The Vamana really wants to fight in this small position right here. I'm not a huge fan of this decision, but he is taunted and he's going in, so I have to go in and help him. I get my freeze off on two pretty key targets, but the Bakasura is getting a lot of damage off in the back. I'm trying to wall off some of the damage, trying to wall off the Janus portal there so people can't get away. Unfortunately, Bakasura will get away anyway. Right here, what I should have done is back up and freeze the Athena and the Thor. Instead, I tried to freeze the Rama off of our Apollo, and so I don't get a kill there. I probably could have killed the Athena had I just frozen her instead and went for the kills instead of trying to peel for my Apollo, in that case, from the Rama. Little indication to my team that they got to be a little bit more careful. That's all right. We're still okay. Nothing crazy. Make sure, just making sure everybody stays calm and making sure we're still working as a team. Even though we're ahead, people start to get a little bit crazy sometimes and they start to think they're bigger than they are, so they play extremely aggressive. And that's just one of those situations where you don't need to be doing that. Just giving a little direction to the team, making sure we're communicating, making sure we're getting enough wards on the map so we have vision, making sure nobody's doing any crazy stuff. Bakasura takes that tier 1 tower. That's alright. Just 500 gold to us team. We still have a 4k gold advantage. Only 2 Fire Giant buffs on their team, and those won't be there for that much longer. Chalk getting ganked on the left lane. He is living for as long as he can, and we are going to try to collapse on this. Chalk, a pretty good character at baiting due to his kit. I'm going to blink in and freeze this Thor off of him. Rama in the air looking for the kill. I know the Thor hammer is down, so I'm going to Aegis him and grab the kill there. Zatman Aegis is now down. The Chuck trying to live his hardest in the back, and he is going to live. But Bakasura going to go ahead and pick up Mace to the face on the Poseidon. But we can keep this fight going. Vamana getting a good kill here on Bakasura. I'm just looking to CC people where I can. I figure that Zatman is still in the lane, so I'm going to go over here. A great pickup on the Janus over there in the mid lane, walling off Zatman just to put some more pressure on him. At this point, I can take the tower for almost as long as I want, waiting for my team to get closer to me. Freezing Zatman. He does not have any beads because he went Aegis this game. And I know his ultimate is down because he used it earlier to try to pick up the Chalk, which means we get a relatively free kill onto Zatman. Walling off the Athena, looking for some pressure onto her. Unfortunately, my slow does miss her. She actually walks out towards the wall where she can't get away, which juked me. Good play by her, even if I was confused by it. At this point, we grab their tier 1 tower. I make a call to go attack the Gold Fury. I then realize the Janus is actually coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and call off this Gold Fury attempt. I do not know if the Janus ultimate is up, but if it is up, they can all run through that Janus ult and come to the Gold Fury and grab some kills on us while we're trying to do the gold. Easier for us to just go ahead and back up, make the safe call, and we can resend and get our health back, buy our items, and then go back and look for something else like that. Pushing back up our gold lead to about 6,000. We're making smart plays right now. We're getting good pickoffs. Chalk, even though he kind of got caught out in the left lane, it ended up being more of a bait than getting caught out. That was very good by him. And now we're warding back up the map to keep our vision up. Really allow us to get some more pickoffs. Ymir great at picking people off due to his combination of blink freeze with that extremely long CC duration. Of course, being able to blink again before somebody comes up with their beats. Finding Janus just kind of out of position. I'm just going to grab as much damage on him as I can. As you can see, I don't have any damage items, and I just got Janus down to half health. The Apollo picking up a kill on Zatman, which is huge. I'm looking to keep the pressure on the Janus. Unfortunately, I cannot reach him, so I'm going to start to switch my pressure onto Thor. Trying to get my freeze off on the Thor, but he gets his ultimate off just before my freeze goes off. But that's alright. Our team doing work over in the ADC lane, and we're going to be able to go towards this fire giant and start up this fire.
Okay. Yes.
Nobody on our team is dead. This should be a relatively free fire giant. I will be popping up the window to see if Thor has tier 3 hogs several times. Very important to know if the enemy team has the ability to secure objectives. Make sure you know who does and does not have tier 3 hog. As you can see, I don't have real vision on the Thor, so I don't know if it hasn't updated yet, so I'm going to keep checking. The Apollo getting picked off, unfortunately. He probably should have been with us on the fire giant. We don't have that much damage on the fire giant. I'm actually getting extremely low here. Luckily, both the Janus and the Thor on their team are also extremely low. So I switch back the aggro to the Chalk, and then we can go ahead and grab this fire giant. No problem. Only person not getting it is Apollo, but honestly, it was probably his mistake not being with us. Yes, he was trying to keep people out of the fight, but he was our main source of objective damage anyway. If anything, it should have been the Vamana trying to peel people away from the fight. 6k gold lead or so, just under 6k, looking more towards 5.5. We have our full team coming up here, 4 of us with Fire Giant, and we're going to look to pressure these lanes as hard as we can. At this point, we are pretty big. We can look for pickoffs. I am 3, almost 4 levels ahead of their support. We have a pretty good general XP advantage throughout our whole team. And we can just start to look for more opportunities and plays. Tier 2 tower is still up. They won't be able to defend on a tier 2 tower. They'll probably look for more of a defense on a Phoenix, which is what they're going to, would be the smart decision to end up doing. Making sure none of their jungle buffs are up. No reason not to grab some extra buffs to help out on the way there. Bakasura over in the right lane. We see him on a ward, so we are free to push this left lane. I see they're kind of close, not quite within blink range. So I'm going to go ahead and bait this and pretend like I'm attacking the tower to seem like I'm in combat. I'm not in combat at all. The Janus comes way too far up, and we're going to get a free pick off here on this Janus just because I baited. He probably thought I was in combat, so I couldn't blink, but I was not in combat. At this point, it's time to start getting this Phoenix down. I try to get the first blow on Zapman so the Phoenix is on me. I do, and I can keep pressure over on this Phoenix. I see this pressure in the back though with the Thor, and I need to get him off of our Poseidon, or Poseidon a big source of damage for our team. Vamana going ham in the back, picking up Bakasura, but we need to make sure that we get this tower. We do. Unfortunately, this poor Athena cannot get through, and I'm going to ultimate. We're going to pick up this kill here. Tier 2 tower mid is still up, so instead we're going to look for kills. Zapman and Thor are going to group up just perfectly so I can slow them. Bada bing, bada boom, we get a great whirlpool. They can't get back to their base because of the wall, and we are going to take this game down even though it started off so poorly in our lane, and we're going to head into this win screen, boys. Even though we started behind in that game, had a hard early game with the early ganks from their team, we still managed to come back and use our crowd control to our advantage. Looking at the numbers here, you can see I actually put out quite a bit of damage. That's just because Ymir has crazy high base damage, as well as his skills can hit multiple people. So as long as you're hitting people with your skills, you're going to get a lot of damage off. Damage taken took the most on my team. You can build straight tank on Ymir. You don't have to worry about it. You're still going to do damage. You still have the crowd control, and you can take a ton of damage. That also allowed me to have 21,000 damage mitigated, allowing me to give my Apollo more room to do whatever he needed, because I can be in front of him and be a big, beefy meat shield for him. You know, just a big old cold god. Looking at our build here, of course, we have Midas Boots, worked our way into Sovereignty, Magi's Blessing for better secure on Harpies as well as easier initiation, grabbing up Wingblade for our last item. They had a good bit of slows. They had Rama slow, they had Janus slow, etc. They had a lot of ways to slow me, and I needed to be able to get in and out of those fights as quick as possible. Of course, having Blink for the initiations with the Ymir as well as the Hug. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This one was a bit from behind as well as on the order side of the map. You guys had requested both those things. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit hard to get this video, but that is alright. I like making these videos for you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please subscribe to me on YouTube. You can also like the video and leave comments. If you have any requests for me to do some videos next week, go ahead and leave them in the comments or post on Twitter, and I will definitely get to them. No more videos this week because of Christmas coming up, but I love you guys, and I'll put out some videos next week. Have a twitching day, y'all.